This is the grinder safety check and instruction. Um, we have four different types of grinder disc or wheels in our shop. We use the 4-inch grinder disc. We have regular hard disc. This is meant for general purpose grinding. If you need to remove a bunch of metal, need to remove the dross that's on the back of the plasma cutter, cut lines that we just did. We have a sandpaper disc. It removes a lot of metal and then anything on the metal, which would be paint, is usually what we're trying to remove with that. We have a wire wheel. This will shine up the metal nicely. It's not going to remove paint very quickly, but it will remove paint. It's not going to remove metal. And then we have a cutting disc. The cutting disc is super skinny. It looks like the regular grinding disc, except the grinding disc has thickness to it where the cutting disc does not. It is super skinny. So when you come up to do your safety demonstration, I have all these laid out in cords all over the floor right now. That's not going to be the case when you guys are up here. It's just for the demonstration. You guys are going to come up here. You're going to have your piece of metal that you already cut in the plasma cutter. You're going to clamp it down. You're going to, with the grinder disc, you're going to remove the metal, the dross off the back of it. When you're using the grinder disc, when you're using any grinder at all, you're going to keep two hands on the grinder at all times. You must get the grinder to come to a complete stop before you take two hands off of the grinder. So this means with having two hands on here that your piece of metal or whatever you're working with has to be clamped down. We have a vise here and behind me that you can clamp it down with. There are vise grips hanging up. You can clamp your workpiece down with those. There's two of those back here. We can get a maximum of two people working back here at any time. You can use the grinder out at your welding station. You can clamp down your piece of metal there. That's not a problem. We have a lot of grinders, so we have enough to go out into multiple welding booths. So you're going to clamp it down. When you're using the regular grinding disc, I don't want you to hold it up high. I want you to hold it as flat as you can, keeping in mind that we don't want the nut on the bottom side to be scraping the metal. So we need to keep it as flat as we can without scraping that. And you're just going to do a back and forth motion. The sparks are going to be thrown in the direction of the arrow. There's an arrow on top of every single one of the grinders. So if you position yourself just how I am, facing towards the hallway door, you're going to be throwing the sparks the right direction, not to throw them at somebody else. Once you clean off the dross on the backside, then you're going to take the sandpaper disc. The sandpaper discs are extremely helpful for a lot of different projects that we have in this shop. However, people destroy them very quickly. There's sandpaper and it hangs off the edge of it right here, all the way around it. When people use the sandpaper disc, you also need to hold it as flat as you can. When you hold it up at an edge, it's going to shred all the paper right off the top or right off the edge of it, and then you're wasting a lot of money there. So we need to make sure that we keep it down and we keep it as flat as possible. When you're done with that one, and you're going to put all of these away, we have the storage system right here, and the plug-in for it is right above us. Having the plug-in above us keeps the cords off the ground so we don't destroy them, and so we don't damage them. The next grinder wheel that you're going to use is the wire wheel. This one is almost done. It's almost out of wire, and it'll need to be replaced. You're going to flip your piece of metal over. You're going to shine a little bit of it about one of the squares. You're just going to clean that side right off. And then the last part of it, you are going to use the vise. Snug it. You don't need to kill it. It's not going to go anywhere. You're going to take the cutting disc, which is the thin disc, the super thin one. This is the most dangerous one that we have because it's so thin and we slice things with it. You need to keep it going in a straight direction. If you go in and try to turn, it's going to snap and send the shrapnel everywhere. That is a problem because, like a grenade, shrapnel going everywhere does a lot of damage to everybody in the area. So when you get to this last one, this is the fourth one, you're going to make a straight cut, and I already did on this one. You're just going to cut down about 1/4 of an inch straight down. So you're going to hold it up above it, get it up to speed. So you turn it on, and you're just going to gently bring it down. You're not forcing anything. It will do the cutting. It's going to throw all the sparks that way. You're going to cut about 1/4 inch into it, then turn it off, let it come to a stop, and pull it straight out. And that will be your complete demonstration. If at any point I see something that's not correct or that's dangerous or that's damaging to the equipment, I'll have you restart the whole process just so that way you can get the muscle memory going and you can have confidence that you did it successfully. And every time you get a new grinder out, you're putting it back onto the shelf when you're done with it.